Hi, I'm Tim Vandergrift from Master Vintner, and today we're going to be tasting the Master Vintner Cabernet Sauvignon. I made this wine several months ago, and it's had a chance to age in the bottle. I know many home winemakers like to drink their wine pretty young, some of you as soon as it's in the bottle, but if you age it, you will be rewarded. It'll develop more flavor, more bouquet, more aroma, more finesse, more length in the finish. So it's always a good idea to make a little extra wine to set aside. So let's have a look. I've left the label off so that we could have a good inspection of the wine. There's absolutely no sediment. It is beautifully clear and it's got a gorgeous color. So let's open it up and taste it. Now remember, tasting breaks down into three things. The first is look, where we'll assess the wine for color, for clarity, and for hue. The second step is smell, where we'll detect the aromas. And the third part is taste, where we get to the good stuff. Oh, look at that. This is a nice, deep purple color. And when you're assessing color, it's good to hold it over a white background. I happen to be in a room full of white furniture, so I've got some right here I can look at. And when you're looking at it, don't overfill your glass. Leave some room and tilt the glass on the side so you get a very thin edge to look through. When you're looking through that thin edge, you'll get a much better idea of the color, clarity, and hue. So the color, it's a gorgeous deep purpley color. It's quite dark and rich. So this is from well extracted grapes that the skins contributed quite some good color to. Also, it is purpley at the edges, which indicates it's still very young. As red wines age, they go from a deep purpley, almost an inky color in some of them, to a lighter, slightly more brownish, bricky red hue. It's due to the way the two color compounds in the wine, one red and one blue, interact. When the wine's very young, the blue dominates a bit, and red and blue together make purple. And as that blue pigment starts to combine and come out of suspension, the wine takes on a truer, more reddish hue. It's not a sign that it's going bad or that it's spoiling, just that it's aging as time is passing. So my assessment in this, the color and hue, are that it's a very young wine from fully extracted grapes, and the clarity is perfect. It is a sparkling star bright, very inviting to the eyes to drink. Very nice. You'll notice that I'm swirling this wine. I'm doing that in order to encourage the low-weight molecular compound, that is, the things that actually smell, to come out of the wine and concentrate inside the glass. So I'll swirl those, and when I get a good head of them, I'm going to stick my nose in and sniff deeply. You need to sniff deeply because you want to get the wine moving through your nasal passages quickly. The speed at which the aroma molecules impact your nasal bulb governs the amount of information they carry to your brain. So you sniff hard, not like a little bunny, no, no, you sniff hard in order to get the aroma. It might seem indelicate, but it is in fact good wine tasting etiquette. Here we go. Wow, right up front I've got currant, blackberry, and a brambleberry. Wow, just a ton of red fruits. That's really nice. Now, interestingly, the fruit is very much up front. This is a Master Vintner 1 gallon kit. There's no oak included in it. And I left it as it was because I wanted to see how the kit really turned out. I'll be fiddling with a lot more kits in the future. But I wanted to see how this one was really going to turn out on its own. And it's so far, wow, fantastic. Little note of alcohol. That's entirely appropriate. It's about 12.75% alcohol by my calculations. But it doesn't dominate. It just helps carry the sweetness of those fruit flavors. Wow, brilliant. Step 3, let's taste it. Really big burst of juicy blackberry all across the palate. Blackberry, blackcurrant, and there's that cherry again. I did not really expect there to be a sort of a cherry-like component to this. It's really very pleasant. Even though it's unoaked, so there's no tannin or smokiness or toastiness to sort of support the structure, it's still really well structured. The acidity is there, the fruit quality is there, and the balance is really lovely. And it just goes on and on. It's got a nice astringency, and the acidity is high enough that it's going to be a really nice food wine. I would serve this with roast beef. I would even try it with barbecue, like some really good barbecued ribs. It would stand up to it beautifully. On its own, though, it's a great drinking wine. I really like this. This is pretty darn good, and it's only a few months old. I think in a year or so, it's going to be quite spectacular. I'm glad I laid a few bottles aside, and you will be too. So make some Master Vintner wine, drink some now, put some aside, and you'll see how big the changes are. If you'll excuse me now, I think I'm just going to sit here and enjoy this. Master Vintner, love your wine.